Hello and welcome to the Chris Badgentine Basketball Network. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and clicking that bell notification so you'll stay updated on all of my future videos. Today I've got a special video for players looking to get overseas. Okay, a little bit more information for you guys, especially coming out of college, okay, and small schools who you're kind of having to fend for yourself and you're not getting the attention from teams or agents, and maybe you've seen my other videos about networking and you're starting to apply those messages, okay? This video is about how to prevent from getting scammed, okay? Especially right now, you see this all the time in the off season. There's always people looking to scam players out of money. And with the current world situation, I see even more and more scams happening, because obviously there's many people across the world that are in financial trouble, and unfortunately there are many people with less than reputable character, and they result to these types of things. Okay, so recently I had a player reach out to me asking me to look over a contract for him, and so when doing so and looking over the messages he had between this team manager, and please excuse, I've had a little injury recently, that's why I haven't really done much uploading, and I also apologize for the noise. I'm on a train right now, so bear with me. But so this player reached out to me asking about this stuff, and everything seemed okay. We looked into the person that was sending the messages. Okay, it was the team manager, it was their name. But one detail stuck out to me that was very fishy. He said, the player will pay the club a fee of $200 as securing their deal, and they will receive the $200 back when they arrive at the airport. Okay, and that to me is extremely fishy. Anytime a team is telling you to send them money. Okay, now we talked about things checking out, but does that really check out? Like, if somebody can always pose and fake that they are someone else, right? All you got to do is copy and save somebody's picture, create an account with their name. It's insanely easy to do things like that. Okay, so just because you see some picture and you see some name and it matches up with information on Eurobasket, that does not mean that that's who that person is. Okay, so that's step one with verification. Obviously, if you look on and they're not affiliated with the team, they say they're the coach or their manager, and you see that's not who it is, okay, that's a big red flag. All right, but also, again, it can still not be that person they're saying they are. The contract itself, it looked extremely sketchy, and it looked very, very sloppy, not professional. There were nothing really official. It just looked like somebody copied and pasted a generic contract, maybe that they've taken off of the FIBA website, slapped a league logo on it, nothing from the team. There were details missing from it. And the whole thing, again, looked very sketchy. And, their information, they're trying, you'll see this all the time. They'll try to come at you and say, hey, saw your highlights, think you're a great player, we need you to come in right away. So they make it sound very urgent, okay? And I think normally what would happen with a team, they're not going to make a hasty decision. Okay, if they're looking at bringing imports in, they're going to look at many different ones. So, and they're also going to want to talk to you, find out some information from you. Speak, if you have an agent, speak with that person, and they're speaking with many other agents, many other players. And a lot of times a team, they want to have a Skype conversation with you. This is information for me. I've been a professional player, coach. I've been involved in many different levels of basketball. If I'm bringing in a player, and I've also done side type of agent work where helping players get signed to teams, whether it's from my events or what have you. And if I'm looking at bringing a player in I'm not going to make a decision like that. I want to speak with them over Skype. I want to maybe get some information from their college coach, see how they were as a player, their work ethic, how they were as a teammate. Are they coachable? Also, I'm going to negotiate. If you just see this person that says they're affiliated with a team throwing out a number and saying, and it's a somewhat of maybe a high number, whether you realize it or not. As a rookie, you might not understand what you'll get paid. A small school guy, most of the time you're looking at $1,000 a month at best, whether that's dollars, euros, maybe 1,500, but much more than that, I think, for a very small school guy, and I mean like below a high level Division II, and even then, if you look at mid-level leagues, lower tier leagues, let's use Germany for example, a Regionalliga on down, and even Pro B, a lot of those guys, you're looking at maximum 1,000, 1,500. The highest paid player I've ever seen in the first Regionalliga was 2,500, and it was a very good European big man, so that was a high commodity. But as an import player, I see very good, small Division I, high D2 guys getting 600 euros a month, and then their food, housing, flights, health insurance, all of those things, the work visa, okay, on up to maybe 1,000 max. So if you're coming out of a very small school, insert whatever level, and this guy's offering you 3,000 with no negotiation. Remember, like, if you're at a yard sale, for example, and that person says, they don't really say, hey, what do you want for this? You'll say a number. They'll probably come back with a number. Say, that's a little high. What about this, right? It's the same thing with professional basketball. They want to maximize their budget. So if you see them just throwing out this number, and it seems to be pretty high over what I just told you, well, man, that's a red flag, okay? Now, guys playing at higher levels, when you talk about playing, again, let's go for Germany, for example, Pro A, BBL, your contracts are going to be much higher, okay? But also the level of player is going to be much higher. Now we're talking about like D2 Player of the Year. We're talking about high Division I, your Power 5 conferences, and this video is not for them. Okay, this video is for small school guys, and you're most likely the guys to get scammed. Okay, and here's my biggest advice to these players. You think so many small school guys think that they need an agent, they need this, they need that. You don't need any of that. Okay, I've coached all over the world. I never had an agent, never signed with an agency. I did everything myself, and you can do the exact same thing. Okay, you need to empower yourself and be diligent, but check out my other videos on this channel where I give you the tools and the knowledge, because here's what I think a lot of players don't understand. What I'm teaching you how to network yourself is the exact same thing that one of these agents is going to do for a player. They're building their contact list. They're taking your highlights, your resume, sending it to them. You can do that for yourself. Who cares more about your career than you? Okay? All right? Now, again, a lot of these guys, small school guys coming out, just graduating, you're wanting the handout. And here's the problem with the handout is, and I've done this, again, with guys from my events, with players I know personally. I can vouch, A, for their character, B, for their basketball ability, because I've worked extremely hard over many years to build up my my network, okay? And I don't want to soil my name giving a reference to somebody I don't know. I don't know if they are coachable. I don't know if they could play at a high level. I don't know if they're a good teammate. The list goes on and on. I'm not going to soil my name and my reputation for somebody that I can't bank on. All right? So now look back and see some of the other videos where I'm teaching you how to do this for yourself and empower yourself. Okay? Because again, that's what an agent is going to do for you. Those exact same things. Now, we just talked about, I've helped many players get their first opportunity, whether it was from my camp or I coached them previously, or give them their second opportunity with gaps in their resume. Okay, and the problem with just giving the opportunity, not saying I don't want to give opportunities, I do to players who deserve it, to teams that are looking for that specific one, 100%, yes. Okay, but the problem when you just do it for the player is that may become their only opportunity. All right, so it's the old adage: you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. If you give the man a fish, he eats for one day, right? So you eat for one season if I give you the opportunity. And if you don't know how to network and market yourself, and you didn't have a good season, and you didn't build up good rapport within the league, that may be it for you. And you don't, a real baller don't want to play one season, right? You want a career in basketball, okay? So I'm trying to teach you how to fish so that you can build opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, season after season after season, and eventually you've got a full career and you know how to do this for yourself. And maybe down the line, once you've worked your way up a little bit, now you've got some agencies, reputable agencies looking at you, willing to work for you, okay? But I'm going to tell you right off the jump, small school guys, you don't need an agent. And if you have an agent that is coming at you, and you look at the other players they have, and they've got a long list of small school guys and never gotten any of them an opportunity, or maybe only a few of them have opportunities, you don't want to be with that agent. That agent probably is A, not certified, and B, doesn't know what they're doing. Just because they're an agent, that doesn't mean they have connections. That doesn't mean they know what they're doing. Look at their history, their track record. Look at the types of players they have in the leagues that they're playing in, okay? And again, I detail this in other videos, so check those out, okay? And if you're, it's one thing if you're paying for a consultation for someone, I do this myself, for someone to evaluate you, what level you can play on, who you should be contacting, help with the context, the list goes on and on. But it's another thing when you just pay to be on an agent's list, because you can do the same thing for yourself without paying, okay? Because, you know, as a coach, I've seen emails and messages from terrible agents that just send me a long blanketed list of, oh, here's who I got, 50 guys. You know, I'm looking for a specific thing, and if I don't know and trust that agent very well, I'm not looking through all those 50 guys, okay? Because A, it takes a very long time, and B, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm sending out a specific thing, say, hey, do you have this player? And a lot of times they're going to say, oh yeah, here, check out this list. Well, it's not going to be in that list, okay? And you don't want to have your name on that list, because guess what? Other teams are not going to be looking through all that as well. Not saying that teams aren't doing their diligence, they are. But that agent isn't doing their diligence. That's not being a professional agent right there, sending a blanketed list of, there's so many guys that do that. And therefore, a lot of players are signed to agencies and they're just put on this list that gets sent out, and they never get an opportunity. And you're wasting time being signed to that agent. You're wasting money being signed to that agent, okay? So if you want to pay money for something, make sure it's actually being seen by coaches. Make sure you're getting also quality information from a reputable, authentic source, okay? And again, you need to learn bits and pieces about the league. I see so many guys, you're posting videos every day of your workouts on Facebook. That's great. That's 100% great. You should be working out. As a professional basketball player, obviously, or an aspiring professional basketball player, you need to be in the gym, honing your craft, working on your game, especially working on new challenges that you're going to face in a European system, okay? But a lot of guys are posting those videos and then they get bitter because nothing comes from it. Listen, any pro can hit an open shot when nobody's guarding them. Any pro can go through reps and look great, okay? It's another thing when you're actually put in a team setting. So it's not enough just for you to post these workout films. You got to have the other stuff to back it up. You got to have the resume with good experiences, and you've got to have a film of playing in a decent league, okay? A lot of people, they send you these semi-pro highlights, and it's not pro at all, Like, the level play is just a glorified just pickup league, because there's no transition. Just one guy comes down, jacks up a shot. It's not real basketball. It's not European basketball. It's just going to the Y and playing pickup. Okay? And a lot of times that's never going to land you an opportunity. All right? So, you know, I detail another video about this, my top 10 ways of getting overseas. Go ahead, find out a way that fits for you, and try to land that. Because if you're banking on, you know, just sending out semi-pro stuff, just posting workouts, not having a professionally assembled resume with good experiences, good stats, real league tape, it's going to be very difficult for you. Not to say it's impossible. Not to say it's impossible. But then your route should be, you've got to go to a reputable exposure event to catch some people's eye. Okay? And again, like, you know, the definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior over and over again, expecting different results. I see players doing this all the time. They keep exhibiting the same behavior, expecting different outcomes, expecting to get an opportunity. Well, if it didn't work the first 200 times, why do you think it's going to work? You know, you have to constantly be able to change, be able to grow, be able to evaluate and figure out what you're doing. If you're getting results from it, you're doing something right. If you're not getting the results you want, you got to change. You got to be adaptable, okay? And you got to be willing to adapt. Don't take that as some, you know, attack on you. Oh, they don't like me, this and that. Man up. Man up. Like, change your approach. If this is something you really want, you'll have to change your approach, and you'll have to figure it out and adapt, like I said. Okay? It's the same thing with anything, right? Let's go back to the fishing metaphor. I'm no fisherman, right? I've been fishing several times, but I know this for a fact. If somebody is out there throwing the same bait in the same spot, catching nothing, do you think that they're going to remain in the same spot with the same bait all day long, catching nothing? No. No, they're not. They're going to change their spot. They're going to change their bait. Okay? And you got to change your spot, change your bait until you catch one of these fish, aka opportunity overseas. Okay? Now, with all this being said, again, please look at my other videos. I'll be coming out with much more information on this type of stuff, detailing everything. Okay? And my website is being updated right now. I apologize. I've been getting a lot of hits, and it's not where it should be. I'm working very hard to update it to be full of tools and resources to help you guys and make life a little bit easy for you when you're trying to network, when you're trying to find stuff, and just have all around information for you that I've learned over the years that I can condense down to make it more doable for you to land an opportunity quicker. I don't want you to take years and years and years to learn what I've learned. I want to give you that information and empower you, okay? Because it's all about helping. It's all about helping and spreading this information. I wish there was information out like this when I was coming up, and there isn't. And there's nobody trying to tell you this, okay? Nobody's trying to give you this information. Nobody wants you to be their competition. Nobody also, like these agents, they don't want to tell you and empower you with the skills to do it yourself, because then they're out of a job, right? Or you know, high-level agents will always have a position because that involves a whole nother thing, all right? But again, if you're from a lower level, smaller school, I would consider not even going that route. Go directly to the teams, to the coaches, to the exposure opportunities that are reputable, especially overseas academies, all right? Don't waste your time going through middlemen when you can do it yourself, all right? Learn how to fish and feed your career for your life, okay? All right, with that said, I wish you the best. Good luck. Again, stay tuned for more. If you want to reach out to me, by all means, go ahead and do so on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at CPB Network. And again, my website will be coming along shortly, so stay tuned for that as well. All right, take care, guys. Best wishes. Peace.